in addition to our US time zones, of course. All right. So remember, you got to get in and out of cover, so you got to stack up and then pull out of cover. But look at that RPM burn. Kind of a bad angle. All right, now we're in our fighting spot. This is where I like to fight from. I kind of like to keep them off guard here by kind of running back and forth so they don't sandwich you in. Maybe getting into this checkpoint. Yeah, so I've just been sending out a reminder at the start of every stream that if you haven't heard yet, we have a delay to season 11. We don't know exactly when the new launch date's going to be, but hopefully it will probably be this month sometime. But when is the big question. We're waiting to hear the answer to. Yeah, of course I'm disappointed, but you know, it's gonna make the best out of the time that the extra time that I have. I've been really meaning to delete one of my characters and get more resources, so I just got to get to that. Definitely need to do it this week. There's a few more builds that I want to produce as well, and then kind of do some more content for some new players as well. So here's our boss. If I can land my shots. Ooh, I didn't see you there. Lots of bonus armor doing a ton for us, right? I mean, I feel really tanky with this build, but also really powerful. And that's the reason why I'm liking it. Like, I got everything that I need. What I really like about it is, like, if for some reason you don't have stacks from Umbra, the stacks from the Chameleon just really do a good job of filling in the blanks. Remember, we have protection from elites, which allows our bonus armor to last longer. As well as our regular armor, of course. Ooh, I didn't see that guy there. It's about as tanky as they get. And we got that tier 5 shield. Once we have all of our trophies, it should do a pretty good job of staying up. But as you can see right there, got a little close to breaking. It just needs a little management. A tier 5 shield is pretty strong. As long as you kill them before they kill you, then you'll be all right. But you do have to keep a close eye on that shield. You don't want it to break. If it breaks, that's your vulnerable. That's where you become most vulnerable. And technically, we could play without the shield, and we did demonstrate that the other day. But one of the reasons why we're running it is for the extra damage. And since you're rolling into armor, I sort of kind of say, like, why not? If you're gonna roll into armor, like, why not go with the shield? Because all that armor is buffing the shield and giving you even more armor, right? The shield is worth like at least 4 million in armor. Oh, he's tanky here. Let's see how we do him. Yeah, I mean, he's about as tanky as he gets. He's about 30 million in armor, even in a solo game mode. So he's pretty damn tanky, right? So that's good, you know. 1v1 him, no problem. Probably not for a few more control points, but I'm gonna guys give you a look at weapons like the FAMAS, the CTAR, also the Vector SMG, maybe the Kingbreaker too. With this gear set, I like faster weapons though, I gotta say, so. That's why the FAMAS and the CTAR. Uh-oh, here comes a party. See how that bonus armor comes in handy? Get off me. Oh, I missed a lot of shots right there. Get off me. You think I'm ever gonna get support from my allies? I popped that flag like an hour ago. Toe to toe. Try to avoid that aerial drone, I'll tell you that. Fucking hate fighting those things. Does anybody out there actually like fighting aerial drones? If you do, I'd like to hear from you. What's your secret? See, that fucking aerial drone, what I hate about it is that it only shoots at me. You know, we're gonna have all these true sons and it won't shoot at him. It's gonna follow me around. See that? Hit me with explosives. Jesus. I'm hiding from it. Where'd that guy go? Way back here? Oh, the fucking thing. So annoying. Oh god, that thing. It's so accurate too, right? We're almost through it. Yeah, basically my strategy right now is just moving around as much as possible. Yeah. Man, but he's adamant, really adamant about following you. We're almost done here. There it is. Named item. And so you want to use those what you do is you just buy a bunch of those named items. It doesn't matter if you hate the named item or you love the named item. Buy a shitload of them and then go just turn them into your donate them to your expertise. And that's one way to get through your named items quickly. The other way is to research, and that's my primary way of doing it. I'm doing research right now. And the best way to do research is, I mean, what goes with the research is making sure you really got to have the resources, right, to research, because you're donating things. And so, which is not a problem, you just got to play the game like you see me doing here. And I don't do anything extra for resources, I just play the game. I enjoy open world content, and that gets me all the resources that I need for the most part. However, if you need to grind, then grind, and one way to grind is to, for more resources and getting a lot of resources, is to go into Countdown, because Countdown gives you a lot of gear. So just make sure you have a lot of backpack space, and then go into Countdown. And what you want to be farming for, if you want to do a lot of research, okay, if you want to do a lot of research, which is what you want, if you want to get through things quickly, you want to farm for component mods, okay? Mods is what you want to farm for. And that's because mods, when you break them down, when you break down mods, they give you printer filament. And printer filament is the biggest return, okay? It gives you the biggest return on your research. So what you do, so basically what I'm telling you to do is go into Countdown, set your targeted loot to mods, get a crap load of mods, deconstruct them, that turns into printer filament, and then go into your expertise system, select the named weapon that you want to upgrade to be proficient, and donate printer filament until you become proficient, and then rinse and repeat. The other way to do it, okay, is if you got a lot of E credits, which you probably do, most people do, You could, the vendors are always sell mods too, right? Every week the vendors sell mods. And we rarely buy them because they're usually junk mods that we don't need. They're like not God rolled, right? So we rarely buy those mods, but you want to buy them just to deconstruct them. So that's the even faster way to do it, is just buy mods, deconstruct them, and then you don't even have to play to get those resources. You're just spending your E credits, which is the same thing, right? Because you had to play to get those E credits. But most people have more E credits than they know what to do with. When I'm talking about E credits is just, you know, the fake money in the game, right? Fake money. What you spend to buy things at vendors. Those are E credits. It's Brick, what up? Yeah, you've been doing it for a week. Yeah, so I mean, that's really the most efficient way. You know, and then you gotta, once you're proficient, of course, the grind becomes, you know, exotics. Sort of. For me, it's not. So my sticking point isn't exotics. I mean, I got a ton of exotics and I can't spend them. So for me right now, it's SHD calibration resources is what my sticking point is. And I play a lot, so it's weird for me to run out of those, but you do. And so basically for me, the best way to get them fast is to spend my watch points. And that's expensive, right? Very expensive way of doing it. One watch point basically represents, on average, about 5 minutes of gameplay. One SHD level, right? And, well, maybe actually a little bit more. Maybe more like 10 minutes, I should say. I should probably say 10 minutes. 5 minutes if you run directives. But most people don't run directives all the time. So the reality is probably more like 10 minutes. It's basically like 2 control points. And so that's why I'm ready to start my next character or reset one of my characters so that I can get more resources. So that I can do that, because that's where my sticking point is right now. So it's going to be resources, whatever it is. When you're ready to start investing into your expertise, one of your resources is going to be your bottleneck. It's not always going to be the exotics. And so there's a lot of people focusing on exotics, but I got to tell you, it's not really the major sticking point for me. It's not. What up, Mike Judge? G-Style. Speaking of exotics, let's see what we got. The Merciless. Where's this guy? Yeah, really good build though, I gotta say, right? This build is great. Man, it just does the job. It feels good, it's fun, it's entertaining, and it's effective, it's strong. I'm tanky, I'm powerful. It does it all, man. It does it all. Making this up, but my impressions were like, just the game was really holding back. And I really do think that though. I really do think that, because like the protection from elite mods, like, I mean, how many new players get a max rolled protection from elite mod? I mean, most people have to go like, don't get them until they're like way into the game, you know? I mean, has anybody gotten a max rolled protection from elites mod before they were watch 1,000? I would like to know. Oh, damn it. God, you got stuck in my shield. Hold still, god damn it. Can't take too much damage to the back. Just keep shooting. It's my strategy. You know, you're stuck to that rifle. That was a close call, though. But that was good survivability there. Because we were getting wailed on in the back the whole time. Okay, let's level up our guy here real quick. Yeah, so I guess another way to ask is like, does anybody remember what watch level they were when they got their first 13% protection from elites? I was probably somewhere around 5,000, maybe 6,000. You're right, Card Master. They're not really that valuable. They're just like hard to get, so we're all interested in them more, you know? Until you have 6. Once you have all 6, then I would argue, well, they are actually valuable now. Because you could max yourself out without having to go with survivalist. But otherwise, yeah, 12% are it's totally fine. Yeah. It's, I mean, actually, I mean, that's a big topic. The reality is like what we're talking about is the truth on all of our gear, you know, and that's why I think expertise system is sort of just a kind of a joke. The reality is, you know, it's just something to grind for is all it is. We're just grinding for the sake of grinding. And what I mean is like, you know, like the different, like if your gear isn't god rolled, you know, it's really not the difference between feeling powerful or not, or being powerful or not. You know, like if you had like 13% weapon damage instead of 15% weapon damage, you know, that's, you know, and you're like, oh, I really got to grind so that I can get this build god rolled. You don't, you know what I mean? You really don't. I mean, it's a big topic, you know, because it affects everything you do in this game. The devs don't really want you to, nobody wants you to buy in on that idea though. All right, because that means less grinding. It means less grinding, and that's the opposite of what the devs want. They want more grinding out of you, right? They want logged hours. But the reality is, from what I've learned in my experience in this game, has taught me that it doesn't really matter. And the reason why is because any difference between build 1 and build 2, so let's just say build 1 is god rolled and build 2 isn't, all right? It doesn't matter what the disparity is. The reality is that play style will outperform the build difference. So let's just say you're a new player, or skill, I should say, not play style, skill. Player skill. Let's just say you're a new player, right? And let's just say I'm a veteran player, all right? Been playing for a long time. And so let's say my build is, we're running the exact same build, but mine's weaker than yours for whatever reason. Maybe mine's not god rolled, yours is. Fine. But at the end of a mission, I'm probably gonna perform better than you. because my skill level is going to be higher, because my situational awareness is higher, because I've been playing the game longer, so I understand, you know, which enemies are tankier than others, where the spawn doors are, so where the best position to be in is at, and you haven't learned that yet. You will. You'll eventually get better than me, of course. But right now, I'm the veteran, you're the new player. I got more situational awareness. I got, I'm just making the assumption I have better skill than you at the moment. Look at that. Wait, your gameplay style and your skill level. So if you want your build to give you the power to run and gun, play out of cover, then you know you just gotta make sure you have the time to kill minimum to do that. That's actually the only requirement, really. And then the rate of recovery. Fucking rifle, man. And then, like, from there, where the builds do matter is for when you kind of get to competition level. You know what I mean? And so what I mean by competition level, like, is if you're trying to break some sort of record. That's when builds start to really, really make a difference. Like, maybe you're trying, maybe it's for you, it's, you're trying to speed run or... Come on, I killed you, buddy. Yeah, really cool build, guys. Like, what's really neat about it is like, you know, when I had died in that last checkpoint and lost all my trophies, I didn't feel weakened by it. You know, felt like when we came back and picked up right where we left off. And part of the reason why is it's the short-term buffs. You know, you can't. Don't downplay that, you know, because they mean a lot. You know, every time you're playing in those fresh trophies. And you're stacking them. And then, of course, there's the chameleon. And the chameleon thing is a, I swear, is a mystery to me. What I mean by that is that if you look at a lot of assault rifle rankings in the Division 2, different people rank assault rifles as far as like the strongest to the weakest, you'll see that the chameleon is like always towards the bottom of those lists. And I swear this thing, it fucking shreds. And I run them all. I run the Kingbreaker. I've been running the Kingbreaker for like a week, 2 weeks straight, actually. And I'm telling you, this gun stands up to it. And why? Why? And this is my hypothesis, and unfortunately, they don't tell you this on these rankings, okay? Not because they're being deceitful, but because they omit this information that's actually pretty important. It's mentioned usually casually, but it's not emphasized enough, and I think it should be. And that's the difference between any two weapons that they're measuring is not as grand as they make it seem, you know. So the Kingbreaker is stronger than the AKM, but barely, but barely. You know, what you got to put it into perspective, right? It's all relative. And it's relative to the enemy that you're fighting. Because what it all means, like, do we care about damage? No, we don't. Do we care about DPS? We don't, actually. We don't. Why would you care about that? You don't care about that. What you care about, not that I want to tell you what you care about, but I'm going to. What you care about is time to kill. That's what we're actually after. We're after really fast time to kills, right? And so the time to kill difference between the Kingbreaker and the AK, or the Kingbreaker and the FAMAS, or the Kingbreaker and the Police M4, whatever, between any two assault rifles is so small that most people can't even tell the difference in time to kill. They really can't tell. You can't feel it. There is a difference, but it's small, right? And so they're saying the Kingbreaker is the best assault rifle in the game. It's the strongest one. And out of the top 20 assault rifles, the Chameleon is all the way at the bottom. But the difference between the strongest and the weakest is only a little bit when it comes to time to kill. And that's what we really care about. That's all it is, guys. It's just nice. It's just nice to know, you know, it doesn't make as much of a difference on your build as you think it would. And that's what they fail to tell you. That's what the nitpicky stat boys forget to tell you, you know, that they'll say that, oh yeah, well, this one, you know, is the strongest one, and this one's got a DPS of like this, but like, what does that mean to me? And a lot of people don't know what that means, you know? They just say it's a bigger number, it's stronger, must be the best one. That's it. That's all. But it's not. There's so much more to it, you know. And more importantly, the time to kill is what you really want to know. And so when anybody says to you, you know, this assault rifle is better than that one, or any two things, you know, whatever that has to do with damage, your real question is going to be, well, how much faster is that going to make my time to kill? And then you have to ask yourself, is that a significant difference to improve the performance in your gameplay? And the answer is usually no. In most cases. Unless you're playing extreme content, okay? And so what I mean by extreme content is like solo legendary. It can make a difference in some situations in solo legendary. It could also make a difference in like speed running, or if you're trying to break a world record. All right, so that's when like a millisecond makes a difference. But those are extreme situations, right? And most people don't play in that extreme part. I mean, we're making bosses look like little bitches with this one, though. And so so the reality is that, I guess, like, what I'm trying to tell you, most importantly, is build your situational awareness. That's what matters most. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's mostly your experience in the game is what I'm saying, right? Don't overthink the word situational awareness, okay? We're just basically saying, know the game. That's going to go a long ways, right? And the things to know are what enemies are tankier than others. That helps you understand like when you can push, when you can back off. But the biggest one is target priorities. Who do you need to kill first to improve your survivability in this mission? Who's got to go first? Where do you need to be positioned? Right? What's the best cover? How often do you need to move to make sure that you're not flanked? When is being more aggressive going to add survivability? And when is it going to take away from your survivability? What gives you more confidence in your playstyle? Bonus armor or armor regen or repair skills? You know, these types of things, right? And so, you know, all this stuff you just earn by playing the game, and it's not that difficult, but to earn that stuff, where are these guys here? So I know I got to get this kill here to survive, so I can grab that trophy. And then look at our armor, right? The enemy's all pussied out. And so it's the most critical factor. And so builds again are just going to accentuate. They're just going to accentuate your skill and your playstyle and help you become a better player. So they do add, of course, to your survivability, but they're not as big of a part of your survivability as you would think they would be for a game that's strongly based on builds. And that's important. That's like the theme of my channel. You know, that's the theme of my channel, is basically unique and effective builds. And the reason why it's the theme of my channel is because, you know, I'm trying to build a strong, positive community for the Division 2, and there's a lot of negativity. I'm sure you guys have figured that out by now. There's a lot of negativity out there in this Division 2 world, and I don't know why, but it's been there. It's been there for a while. And players turn on each other, right? And it's sad and it's unnecessary. You're judged and criticized for your builds. And your build still needs to make sense. I'm not saying just, you know, don't go all weirdo with your build. You know, so they need to make sense, your builds. But outside of that, you know, it doesn't matter really how you run your build. You know, if it's effective, then it's the best build in the game for you. And that's what they don't know. And that's what they always admit. And they admit it because they have to be right. They admit the data that's most important to you, the relative data. What does that mean to me? What does that mean to me? That's the part that is never explained to you by the spreadsheet warriors, is what I call them. They never explain to you that, and that's the most disappointing part. They say, this is the strongest gun in the game. This is the strongest gear set in the game. But what does that mean to you besides just being the strongest? How much stronger? And what is that going to allow me to do? Am I killing faster? By how much? Is that a lot amount, or is that a little bit amount? You see what I'm saying? I'm going to keep saying that over and over because that is the point. Time to kill is the point. Why is time to kill the point? Because the faster you kill, the faster you clear control points. The more control points you clear, the more gear you get, the more rewards you get. And this is a looter shooter, so we're looking for rewards in this game. And so, but there's more to it than just power to everything that I just said. So you know. And so, and let me give you an example. A striker build is stronger than an Umbra initiative, build that I'm running right now. Okay, a striker build does put out more damage, is what I'm trying to say. However, because striker doesn't come with any added survivability, I mean like armor on kill or armor regen, and this one gives me 40% armor regen over 5 seconds, I actually clear content slower with the striker build than I do with an Umbra initiative build. I'm faster with an Umbra initiative build. I've timed myself, so I know this like as a fact. This is not speculation. I know this as a fact because I timed myself with both builds. And so, and clearing content quickly is my ultimate goal because that's how I get the best gear in the game, which means the best builds in the game because I farm efficiently and quickly. That's the point. The looter shooter. I want to shoot a lot and I want to farm a lot. I want to shoot a lot and I want to loot a lot, right? And so if I start adding survivability to my striker build, then what I said about striker being stronger than Umber initiative is no longer. Because by adding more survivability to your striker build, you're taking away damage. And that was the leg up that the striker build had on Umbra Initiative. So what I'm saying is, as soon as you start adding survivability to your striker build, you might as well just run Umbra Initiative. Where is everybody? And so basically the stats that you care about, that you might want to think about, is that it's always coming down to time, you know? And so anybody that says, oh, you like the police M4, well, you're a shithead because the Kingbreaker is stronger. Be like, okay, so what is the difference in my time to kill between the police M4 and the Kingbreaker? Now, here's the part that'll blow your mind. You're making the assumption that the time to kill is going to be faster with the Kingbreaker, when in fact, it is possible that your time to kill will be faster with the Police M4, even though the Police M4 is got a lower DPS, damage per second, or lower damage. How is that possible? How is it possible that a weaker weapon has a faster time to kill? Anybody? Anybody? Shots landed. That's a big deal. It's a big deal, right? So weapon handling is a factor. And Fog of War did a nice little video about this too, by the way. A series, I think it was a couple of videos. But time to kill is a factor. I'm sorry, weapon handling is a factor in your time to kill. It cannot be ignored. And they're ignoring it when they tell you the Kingbreaker's better, it's stronger. It's like, well, in the testing range, when it's landing 100% of the shots on the head, but what if in my gameplay, and this is me, what if I don't land 100% of my shots on the head? What if in the Kingbreaker, I only landed 15% of the shots on the head, but with the Police M4, what if I landed 40%? Which is stronger now? What about optimal range? Well, if weapon handling, it's a big deal. Okay, so every weapon's got instead of just wailing on that trigger. These guys in their fucking turrets, huh? It's gonna take some heat right here, boys. Do not lose your shield. You will regret that. There's a heavy gunner in the back, if you didn't see that. Using my bonus armor, see that? That's why we run bonus armor, so that I could drop my shield. Oh, we took it there. Somebody a higher level shooting at us. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, I think the new settlement would bring us another vendor, so that's always good. We used to have another DZ vendor. You guys remember that guy? He was another the Thieves Den, I think is what it used to be called, if I remember right. I think that was right. And you used to have to go around and do a couple of tasks to unlock it. They were pretty easy to do. I don't know why they took it away though. God, you got a long ways. It was fast. Using my bonus armor. Drop the shield. That's what I'm saying. Keep that shield strong. You don't need, I mean, that's the point of the bonus armor. You got to use it. The point of it not working for you. Yeah, Todd, they are. I mean, the death grips, I think, are losing a little bit of value. Especially with the ninja bike coming in, I think that they're not going to be as appealing. There's a lot of ways to get armor on kill in this game. But I do like the death grips, actually. For a while, they were one of my favorite pieces of gear. I'm just a big fan of armor on kill. Big fan. For me. And then, but my favorite is the Umber with the backfire. I'm not just saying that because I'm wearing Umber right now, but it really is my favorite. Get off me, right phone. Damn, they're everywhere. Oh, there's a turret in that window. That's where a lot of that damage is coming from. Good CQB, huh?
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
The hell are they?
Heavily armored hostile detected.
Got it twice.
You're not going anywhere.
There it is. Yeah, that'd be cool, bro.
Reinforcements en route.
So when you go into cover, remember you heal, right? See that healing happening right there? Let's get out of here. Aw, whatever. I outran that fire. So look, we're already at 100% armor regen. I mean, 100% armor back. And so the Umber initiative has basically the strongest armor regen in the game. And if you run the backpack, it's even stronger. But I run the memento, of course, because I really like that bonus armor. But yeah, the backpack, you could have even stronger armor regen. And so that's why you don't have to run armor with your Umber build. This is a new way for me to run it. I actually usually run this build pretty heavy on the red side. But it's nice to have throw on the armor and just kind of really jump into the pack and throw your whole body at him, so to speak, you know? I mean, our time to kill is so fast anyways, you know. If anybody wants to see that experiment, I could also do that too. I could rip off the armor and show you how damn good this build is. Even obviously, you actually get stronger, believe it or not, right? It's a big old discussion in the Division 2. The topic probably most debated, wouldn't you guys say? What's the perfect amount of armor? Is there too much damage in the Division 2? Is there such a thing as too much damage? Is added survivability? Is nerfing your build or strengthening your build? You know, these are all big questions that people argue about and throw death threats at each other about, which is funny, right? I'm right, you're wrong. You know, my spreadsheet says so. Whatever. The answer is really it's playstyle, because some of the things that you see me doing absolutely cannot be done without bonus armor. Like the damage that I'm taking to my back without the bonus armor, impossible. You know, because remember, they hit really hard. So one armor core equals 170,000 armor points, right? One armor core when it's maxed out. And so the enemy, most of the enemies hit over that. So one bullet will remove an armor core. And so if you don't have any armor cores, you know, it only takes a couple of bullets to break your armor. And so you're not able to take damage to the back. They'll drop you. And also, you know, when it comes to like all red builds, like you really have to be smart in your cover to cover movements or how you traverse the open terrain, because you'll lose your armor before you get to the enemy, right? They can take it all away from you. They're gonna shoot you on approach. And if you don't have armor regen, armor on kill, or, well, armor on kill is not gonna help you a lot there, because you're not gonna, you know, you might die before you get to the enemies. And so what I'm basically saying is that it's not that you can't do it. I do it all the time, and I can show you. We could put on an all red build, even the same setup, just all red, and it's still a great build. It's actually still one of my favorite builds, as a matter of fact. But what changes is you got to, the player styles, like, and experience has got to be a little bit higher. You got to have really good flanking patterns and be careful about not taking damage on approach, because if you take all that, if you lose all your armor just walking, you're not gonna have anything left to hold up against the fight. And so basically what ends up happening is you can get stuck in cover the whole time.
Follow me.